at one point was going to be in line for succession to the kingship of Nibiru, was being trusted with an assignment, and here he was finally he couldn't be king of Nibiru because Anu had overthrown the guy that was going to put Marduk in Nibiru, but now at least Marduk had a place to work from and a position of some kind of power. However, there started to be a lot of difficulty as Marduk got near the inner solar system again, and it totally wiped out Marsbase. And so it was a sort of a desperate situation. We're following here in the Lost Book of Enki. This is now tablet 7. This is 350,000 years ago. And Enki decided that he would do two things. One, he would try to find some other way he could get his son, Marduk, employed. Because if Marsbase was wiped out, then Marduk didn't have a power base anymore, and they decided they were going to look at the moon. And while they were on the moon, Enki got close to his son Marduk, and he also created the scientific units that we still have with us today. And so what we're going to do to really give you a feeling for this is we're going to read, Janet's going to read you from the Lost Book of Enki, so you actually get to see the words that Zechariah Sitchin translated from the tablets that Enki left us. And so it starts out, in a rocket ship did Enki and Marduk to the moon journey.
Thrice they, the earth's companion, encircled the deep wound by the dragon caused, they observed. By many hollows, the handiwork of smashing demons, was the moon's face marked. In a place of rolling hills, they set the rocket ship down. In its midst they landed. From the place the earth they could observe, and the expanse of the heavens. Eagles' helmets they had to don. The atmosphere was for breathing insufficient. With ease they walked about. In this and that direction they went. The evil dragon's handiwork was dryness and desolation.
The evil dragon refers to an asteroid or a chunk of matter.
Right, because it looked an asteroid or a comet or something streaming, how it looks like a dragon, I guess.
That's right.
Unlike Lamu, it is, for a way station, it is unsuitable.
Lamu is Mars.
Right. To his father, Marduk was saying, "Let us abandon this place. Let us to earth return." "Do not be hasty, my son," so was Enki to Marduk saying. "Are you not by the celestial dance of earth and moon and sun enchanted? Unobstructed from here is the viewing. The quarter of the sun is at hand. The earth like a globe in the void by nothing is hanging. With our instruments we can scan the distant heavens. The handiwork of the Creator of all in this solitude we can admire. Let us stay, the circuits observe, how the moon circles the earth, how the earth its circuits around the sun is making." So Enki, by the sights agitated, to his son Marduk was saying, by his father's words Marduk was persuaded, in the rocket ship they made their dwelling. For one circuit of earth, for 3 circuits on the moon they remained. Its motions about the earth they measured, the duration of a month they calculated. For 6 circuits of earth, for 12 circuits about the sun, earth's year they measured. How the two were entwined, causing the luminaries to disappear, they recorded.
So what we have here is the months established by the moon and the years, and this is what Enki and Marduk did.
So, how many years were they there? Was that 12 years? Yeah, 12 circuits about the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So they stayed there 12 Earth years. Then, to the sun's quarter, they attention gave the paths of Mumu and Lahamu they studied. So Mumu is the Earth, right?
No, it isn't. I think that we're talking about Venus and...
Anyway.
I'd have to look this up. I'm not remembering right
the
now.
Earth and the Moon, law of moon, the Sun's second quarter constituted. 6 were the celestials of the lower waters. So was Enki to Marduk, explaining. 6 were the celestials of the upper waters, beyond the bar, the hammered bracelet. They were Anshar and Kishar, Anu and
There's Neptune and Uranus and the outer planets.
Gaga and Nibiru. These were the 6 others.
Gaga's Pluto.
12 were they all. Of 12 did the sun and its family make the count. Of the upheavals most recent, Marduk of his father was inquiring, why have 7 celestials in a row places taken? So was he, his father, asking. Their circuits about the sun, Enki then considered. Their grand band around the sun, their progenitor, Enki, carefully observed. The positions of Earth and Moon therein on the chart Enki marked out, by the motions of Nibiru of the sun, not a descendant, the width of the great band he outlined, the way of Anu, the king, to name it, Enki decided. In the expanse of the deep heavens, the stars did father and son observe.
So what's happening here is he's seeing the movement of each of these planets in their circling around the sun, and how these correlated with each other, and how they correlated with the Earth's movement and the movement of the inner planets. And all this is being charted by Marduk and Enki from the moon.
From the moon. By their proximities, the groupings, was Enki fascinated. By the circuit of the heavens from horizon to horizon, he drew images of 12 constellations. So this is the birth of the zodiac system.
That's right.
In the great band, the way of Anu, one each with the sun's family of 12, he paired. To each one he designated a station. By names they were to be called. Then in the heavens below the way of Anu, whence Nibiru the sun is approaching, a band-like way he designed. The way of Enki he had designated, to 12 constellations by their shapes he also allotted. The heavens above the way of Anu, the upper tier, the way of Enlil he called. Therein, too, the stars into 12 constellations he assembled. 36 were the stars' constellations. In the 3 ways were they located.
In 3 zones, basically, he's saying.
So he talked about, he created the zodiac, and he gave names to the constellations. Henceforth, when Nibiru nears and departs from Earth by the stars' stations, its course shall be known.
So they know when Nibiru is coming, and just how far it is and how long it'll take.
And if it's coming through a certain constellation, so
yes,
he could map it out. So he was basically mapping the heavens that he could observe from the moon and Earth. So will the Earth's position designated as around the sun it travels. The start of the cycle of celestial time, the measure Enki to Marduk indicated. When on Earth I had arrived, the station that was ending by me, the station of the fishes, was named.
Pisces.
The one that followed after my name tide, he of the waters I called.
Aquarius.
So Enki, with satisfaction and pride to his son, Marduk was saying, your wisdom the heavens embraces, your teachings my own understandings extend. But on Earth and on Nibiru, knowledge and rulership are separated. So did Marduk to his father say, my son, what is that you do not know? What is it that you are missing? To him Enki was saying, the secrets of the heavens, the secrets of the earth with you have I shared. Alas, my father, Marduk was saying, there was agony in his voice. When the Anunnaki and the Absol, the toil ceased and the primitive worker you set to fashion, not my mother but Nimma, the mother of Ninurta, to assist you was summoned. Not I, but Nigashita, of me, the younger, to help you was invited. With them, not with me, your knowledge of life and death did you share. So basically, when he was creating the primitive worker, Homo sapiens, he invited Nimma and his other son. Enki invited Nimma and Nigashita, Thoth, and he didn't invite Marduk to work with him.
That's right.
So we continue. My son, Enki to Marduk responded, to you command was given of the Ajiji and the Lamu to be supreme.
That's of the astronaut corps on Mars.
And Mars. Alas, my father, to him Marduk was saying, of supremacy by fate we are deprived. You, my father, are Anu's firstborn, yet Enlil, not you, is the legal heir. You, my father, were the first to slash down and Eridu establish. Yet Eridu is in Enlil's domain. Yours is in the distant Abzu.
Africa.
So Anu had given, by the drawing of the straws, Anu had given Enlil rulership of the earth.
Yeah, it wasn't really a fair draw. It's perfectly obvious that Anu was favoring Enlil because Enlil would be his heir and trying to crowd out Marduk, because the deal with where Marduk would be the heir was dependent on Alalu, who Anu had overthrown. And so Enlil was deliberately tilting everything toward his own heir, toward Enlil.
So basically Anu was reneging on his deal.
He was reneging on his deal.
With Alalu.
Yeah, he was saying that since this was made under duress, I said that the child of Enki and Alalu's daughter Damkina, which is Marduk, can be ruler, and you can be in charge, Alalu. And he did that. Anu did that to avoid a civil war. But after 7 shars or circuits of Nibiru, Anu overthrew Alalu and said, "Deal's off, and I'm taking over, and my heir, who is Enlil, not Marduk, who is to be Alalu's heir, is taking over."
So I'll continue. I am your firstborn. By your legitimate spouse on Nibiru was I born. Yet the gold in the city of Ninurta is assembled, therefrom to send or to withhold. The survival of Nibiru is in his hands. In my hands it is not. Now to earth we are returning. What will my task be? Am I to fame and kingship fated, or again to humiliated be? In silence did Enki embrace his son. On the desolate moon to him a promise made. Of that of which I have been deprived, your future lot shall be. Your celestial time will come. A station mine adjoining yours shall be.
So what we have here is Enki is basically telling his son Marduk, "You're going to take over Earth, and I know exactly how you feel because I'm Anu's oldest born, but just because my mom was a concubine and not the official wife like Enlil's mom, Enlil's going to be king of Nibiru, and right now he's commander Earth, and we don't like it, but we're doing the best with it. But your day will come, Marduk." And as we'll see as this plot develops, ultimately Marduk does go to war against Enlil and his granddaughter Inanna, and to this day Enlil is known as Yahweh, and Marduk as Allah, and Inanna as Isis, and they are still fighting it out with their humans that they have on their side, and we are still plagued with this dynastic competition that started way back then.
What is Marduk's symbol? Was he the ram or the bull?
He's the ram.
He's the ram, so he's Capricorn.
Yeah.
So Capricorn is next to Aquarius. So that's it says here, a station mine adjoining yours shall be.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so your celestial time will come, a station mine adjoining yours shall be. So,
well, there'll be a huge fight about this later, because Ninurta is saying, well, let's see how much of the horizon each constellation takes up, and when you do it that way, then the bull, which is Enlil's time, is really big, and the ram is really little. And Marduk's saying, no, when my dad made the divisions, they were 12 equal divisions. They were just mathematical things. They're not really meant to be how long the string of stars are when during the spring equinox in Sumer. And so there was wars fought over this.
Wow. So let's kind of fast forward. So he's still here. Marduk is still here.
Well, there's a lot of debate in the literature. Some theorists think that Nanar, the first son born of Enlil here on Earth, is really Allah, because he did dwell on the moon and he did come back. But the evidence seems way overwhelming, especially from Tellinger, that Marduk was actually Allah, and that although Alexander saw Marduk's body, Alexander the Great saw Marduk's body after he conquered Egypt, floating in oil, we know that the Anunnaki were able to bring life back to people if they died within a certain amount of time. And so it seems like, it does indeed seem like it's much more likely to be Marduk, who is always doing wars and stuff, than Nanar, who is Allah, because Nanar, when he ruled he had 1,000 years of really peaceful rule, and he was not at all warlike. And so the weight of evidence that I now have makes me think that in all probability Allah was Marduk.
Right, and after Sodom and Gomorrah, Marduk was given rulership of the earth, right?
Well, yeah, what happened was that Marduk was and his son Nabu were just about to conquer the spaceport on the Sinai, and they'd already conquered Lebanon, and they were closing in. So Enlil ordered the nukes, which Enki had hidden. Enki had hidden Alalu's nukes that were on the rocket ship so that they couldn't be used. But Anzu, or Abgal rather, Enki's pilot, betrayed him and told Enlil, the commander, where the nukes were. So the commander got the nukes, gave them to his son Ninurta, and to Nergal, Enki's son, who had gone over to the Enlilites' side, and they bombed Sodom and Gomorrah, because they were on the south end of the Dead Sea, the cities that were going over to Marduk's side, and they just totally nuked the whole area. But Nabu escaped to the Mediterranean. The nuclear cloud, however, which has been unanticipated, blew all over Sumer and wiped out all of Enlil's settlements. But Babylon, Marduk's capital, was far enough north that the nuclear wind missed it, and it killed everybody else, but it left Marduk totally in charge. Some of Yahweh's, Enlil's toadies, Abraham and those guys, did escape to Canaan because Enlil had warned them. They had been spying on Sodom and Gomorrah and got the evidence that let Nergal bomb them, and so they survived. But for a while, Marduk was in charge. But a lot of the Enlilite gods moved over to Greece and the Mediterranean, and of course Inanna's place in the what's now Pakistan was okay. But Marduk was in charge for a while.
Yeah, while you were talking, I was just Googling Baal, and it says that, let me take the mic over here, that Baal is known as a god that had the dying and raising, the story of the dying and raising. So there was a biblical story of Baal being taken on a cart with his son, and they were taken captive, and then they killed Baal, and then Baal was another name for Marduk, right, in Babylon. So here is a reference to him dying and having risen. So that's what the theory seems to pan out, that he was resurrected in some way. And since Enki and Nima and Nigashida had studied the knowledge of life and death, as he says on page 160 of the 7th tablet of the Lost Book of Enki, with them, not with me, you shared knowledge of life and death. So he had shared this secret school's knowledge of how to resurrect the dead, which we see further down the line with Jesus knew how to raise the dead. So this was in fact, we're kind of doing it now a little bit. We have people that die and we bring back. But this apparently is a technology that you could be dead several days and still be revived.
Yeah, do look at our site on Aquarian Radio or Enki Speaks. Both of them have details of the whole history of Marduk, and it goes into great detail. But we just wanted to read a little bit from the book